All right, so this number 12's saying Aisha, Silvio, and Jim each solved the same equation. Okay, so they're solving the same equation. All right. Aisha's answer was x equals 3. Silvio's answer was x equals 6. Jim's answer was x equals 9. If either Aisha or Jim, but not Silvio, okay, so not Silvio is correct, which equation could it be? Okay, you're asked to choose from a bunch of equations. Okay, you're given 4 equations to choose from. All right. Now, what's important here is Aisha's answer and Jim's answer. Okay, and also Silvio's answer, because we're told Silvio's answer is not correct. Okay, so if Silvio's answer is not correct, all right. And we're given, and Silvio answered x equals 6. Okay? Well, if you look at all of these equations, when you solve this, right, when you take the square root of both sides, when you find x, you don't get 6 here, you don't get 6 here, you don't get 6 here, and you don't get 6 here, right? When you solve these, right, square root of both sides, you get x equals 3, square root of both sides, you get x equals square root of 18, cube root, you get x equals 4. All right? So luckily for us, Silvio's equation isn't even on here, okay? So we don't even have to worry about it, all right? So what we're more concerned with is Aisha's and Jim's equation, all right? So let's look at Aisha's. It says Aisha got x to be equal to 3. How can you, from these equations right here, which one could you choose from so that your answer could be x equals 3? Well, hopefully you're experienced enough with solving squares, solving problems with x squared, where you can automatically see that this is the one for Aisha. Okay, so x squared equals 9. If you solve this, you get square root x equals plus or minus the square root of 9. So you get plus or minus 3. Okay, so 3 and negative 3 is one of your are your two solutions. Okay, and it says Aisha's answer was 3. All right, now this can be a little tricky, all right? It says if either Aisha or Jim. Either or means only one can happen, okay? It means they're not both right. When you say either or, it means one or the other, not both, okay? All right, so that's the wording behind either or. That's very important to notice here. Because if we found Aisha's equation, okay, which is right here, and if only Aisha or Jim is right, and we already found Aisha's, that means the answer has to be this one, okay? Because only one of them can happen, right? So let's go look at Jim's, okay? Jim's answer was x equals 9, right? It says Jim's answer was x equals 9. So we get x equals 9, or, x equals 9, okay? And notice, none of these, solving these equations, none of these will give you x equals 9 when you get x by itself, okay? For this one, you get x equals square root of 9. None of these equations is going to give you x equals 9, okay? None of these equations is going to give you x equals 6, like Silvio's, okay? That's why we canceled it off. All right, so same reasoning. None of these equations are going to give you x equals 9, okay? And you're told either Aisha or Jim is right, and we found Aisha's equation right here, okay? So that's going to be our answer right here. X squared equals 9, okay? So B. All right?